Hello and welcome to my F1 24 driver career mode, here today for part 72 for the Italian Grand Prix here at Monza. So we come into qualifying now, round the Parabolica or the Curva Alboreto, wherever you prefer. Alonso's gone fastest as we come up to the line, we cross it and that's going to take it to provisional pole position. Now we went again on the same set of tyres and we've gone fastest in the middle sector. We've found 0.3 of a second that go into 4 as we come down the pit straight now, and we go even faster to go back to the top of the times. And at the end of qualifying we've been beating Max's provisional pole, now Piastri, but we're found in time. We've gone purple in every sector so far as we come up to the line to start on pole. So this is the grid ahead of the Italian Grand Prix. We are on pole alongside the McLaren of Oscar Piastri. Then it's Alonso and Max Verstappen, George Russell and Charles Leclerc, Sainz and Lando Norris, Ricciardo and Ocon round out the top 10. Then it's Hamilton and Albon, Gasly and Vesti, Fittipaldi and Tsunoda, Stroll and Sergio Perez, and on the final row of the grid are the two Saubers headed by Oliver Bearman. So as the cars come onto the grid then at the end of the formation lap, it's a long run down to that first corner. Can we beat Piastri off the line and make it into turn 1 first and get away? Otherwise this could be a long race of battling for the DRS. But here we go then, the 5 red lights come on ahead of the Italian Grand Prix. We're racing here at Monza. We've got a bit of wheel spin, but it's still a fairly decent start. But Piastri's got a better one, and he's alongside us as it's a drag race down into turn 1. The McLaren's just ahead, but we're going to be later on the brakes. To the inside, Piastri, we hold it around the outside. Now it's about the exit. We're side by side, we're just ahead of Piastri. Coming out of the first chicane, as now we go round the Curva Grande, we're keeping it pinned side by side for the Curva Grande. Is Piastri going to go for the Lando Norris move that he pulled in real life? He's too far back. We fend him off and we keep the lead at the start of the Grand Prix. Great battle that one, but we haven't been able to pull away. Lap 5 now. Here comes Piastri. We were just keeping him at bay. We're pulling away from those behind, but he's got us here. We're going to pull back though to the outside out of his slipstream. He brakes very early there and we retake the place and the lead of the Grand Prix, but he's still with us, Piastri. So hard to break the DRS around here as he goes to the inside, heading down the pit straight. We're now side by side. Our straight line speed is just keeping us in front with using all the battery, every tools we have, and we keep the McLaren behind. And then finally we started to get away as this is Lando Norris in the other McLaren slowing down. There's yellow flags. He's got some sort of issue with his engine as into the Scari chicane, and that's a big engine failure, massive engine failure by Lando Norris. Doesn't have the best of luck round here. He had that puncture in the opening couple of laps last year and he's out this year. And once we broke the DRS from Oscar Piastri, we absolutely flew away. You can see the gap now to 2.8 seconds. We were just managing that gap to Piastri behind. He couldn't catch us, and by the end of lap 13 we're going to round the final corner and come into the pits to make our one and only stop of the day. We've got that gap up to nearly 6 seconds as we come trundling down the pit lane. Piastri stays out an extra lap, you see there, and now the medium tyres will go off, the hards will go on. It's not the quickest of stops, 2.9 seconds, but we're not really under too much pressure at this stage of the Grand Prix, so we can get away with that hopefully, as long as it puts us in a nice gap as we come out of the pits now and down towards turn 1. They've found this a lovely gap to fall into just ahead of the Sauber, and now we can get down the road. As now this is Oscar Piastri making his one and only stop 1 lap later, going on to the hards. He's had to wait for the Aston Martin there, that's going to hold him up a bit. But where are we? We're halfway down the pit straight. We've gained so much time on Piastri. That 6 second gap is going to be even bigger, as there he is now just coming out of the pits down towards turn 1. We are absolutely miles in front of him now, and now it's just about trying to make no mistakes, get to the end. It's very much turning into Spa last time out when we were managing the pace. See the gap now up to 9.2 seconds, and we were just slowly eking out, getting further and further down the road. The gap now up to 14 seconds to Oscar Piastri. We also have the fastest lap of the race. He just couldn't deal with our pace once we were put on the hard tyre, and breaking that DRS has really saved our race, and we've got away. We've had great pace in the car the last couple of rounds, and when we come now onto the last lap into the Parabolica for the final time, we've got that gap out to 18 seconds, and we're going to win the Italian Grand Prix.
Great use of the clear air today then, and didn't allow anyone to exploit the slipstream behind them. What a great win here at Monza.
And it's always good to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So that's been your Italian Grand Prix. We come out on top. Maximum points as well. Piastri just couldn't live with our pace, and Charles Leclerc gets on the podium as well for P3. Alonso P4, and Sainz rounds out the top 5. And then down at the back there was 2 DNFs. Lando Norris early on. Lewis Hamilton retired on the final lap of the Grand Prix. So Joe was once again the final finisher of the day. In terms of the Drivers' World Championship now, that win for us, the gap is now up to 42 points between us and Lando Norris. Very nearly 2 race wins going into the late stages of this season. And then George is still 3rd, Leclerc has gained some points on him in P4, and then Max is P5. And then there's still a lot of drivers still yet to score this season. Joe is still bottom of the standings. And in terms of the constructors then, and we increase our gap once more, the gap now 63 points between us and McLaren. Ferrari are still P3. Aston Martin have jumped Red Bull to go P4. Red Bull now down to P5. And then Haas and Sauber are still yet to score. So that's been then your Italian Grand Prix race weekend here at Monza. It's another race where we've dominated. We go though to COTA next for our first sprint weekend of the season. I'll see you in COTA. Goodbye.